Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for joining the session. I'm Andrew. Please don't hesitate in asking me anything you like. We're going to look at eStream, so I shall share my desktop. If you could just confirm that you can see it, that would be great.
Yep, can see it.
Brilliant, thank you.
Yeah, can see it.
That's great. If anything that you want to ask me, please ask me. Has anybody used eStream before?
No.
No.
Right. Good, that's fine. Right, so what we'll do is, first of all, I'll run through. I'll give you a bit of an overview on what it is, basically, and then I'll show you the integration between some of the delivery methods that you use, whether it be Teams or Canvas. If anybody wants to see anything else, let me know. But to give you a bit of an overview, eStream is a video-on-demand platform, works a bit like YouTube, but it is aimed more towards an education market. So it's got a lot more tools that are education relevant, and it's also secure. So what you can do is set up permissions for different types of users. So the content on the platform is controlled by you and owned by you. So you control who sees that content. So it's not just a free-for-all like obviously something like YouTube, which is obviously an advertising platform. It's your platform that you can add content to, and you control who sees that content. And obviously that's important when you're looking at things like GDPR and privacy, etc., particularly if you're taking assignments and things from the students. So that's the kind of core of the thing. It's the engine. So if you can think of anything that you'd like to do with it, I am 99.9% sure that it's configurable in the way that you want to use it. But for this, what we'll do is I'll run through some of the things that I think you'll find useful. I don't want to overcomplicate it. It does a lot. So kind of pick the bits that you think are useful. Okay, so the core is this video on demand engine. On top of that, you can bolt different bits on, which you guys have got everything. So you can do live streaming and lecture capture, TV and radio recording and access to the archives, photo management, and it also is a digital signage platform, which I think Elaine controls actually. So it links into other distribution systems like Teams, like Canvas, Moodle, Blackboard, all sorts of different things. But you can get the content anywhere. So the whole point of this is we want you to be able to add content, video and audio content and images, media basically, from any source into the platform and deliver it to anything. So whether that be via Canvas or Teams, or whether it just be via a WordPress site or a website, we want you to be able to deliver it from wherever you wish, not just from the eStream platform. Okay, so it links into your Microsoft account. So mine just says that I've got some kind of data breach. Let me just try that again. It's a bit weird. Okay, so you can log on via your Office 365 account or your Azure account, and yours looks a bit different to this. Mine effectively is I've created this banner and changed the colour scheme of the branding. Yours will be similar, but obviously it will just be a different colour scheme, different logo, etc. But all the icons, etc., are in the correct place. Okay, so what we'll do is initially we'll look at how do you get content into the platform. So it's hopefully reasonably simple. Everything's icon driven and everything's HTML based. If I go to the top, there's a create icon, and we've got the option of uploading content. So that's basically just files and clips and things. So if I had a clip, and it could be obviously on a mobile device, so if you're using a telephone or a smartphone rather, or a tablet, it's exactly the same interface. You can just click on that arrow, and then you can browse for a clip to add. So if I click on that, I can grab a clip that resides on my, in this case, in my videos folder. Select a category, because say that one's English, confirm selection, confirm, upload, and it'll upload it to the platform and archive it. If you do use a mobile, when you click on the arrow, it does let you access the camera directly, so you can record straight into the platform just using the camera in the device. Pretty easy. One thing that's probably worth mentioning, if you want to add loads of clips, you don't have to do them one at once. You can just grab or lasso the clips you want to upload and upload them in one hit, as it were, batch upload. So it's pretty easy to get clips in from a file. Another thing that we can do to add content, hopefully really simply, is we can use the web recorder. So what the web recorder does is, it's just a HTML tool, and it's just there so that you can just log onto the platform, click on the web recorder, hit start. Yeah, what this will do is it'll check my computer for anything that's connected to it. So if I pick my second screen, yeah, it'll select my second screen. It's also picked my webcam. You don't have to do that if you click on the cog. You can just do one, hit record. That's now recording my second screen and my camera, obviously concurrently. It'll record that. When I press stop, it'll stop. And then I can add the details. I can say, right, that relates to economics, confirm, upload, and that's it. And it's recorded that directly into the platform. So obviously I've picked economics as a category, so you can browse economics and you'll be able to find that particular clip. So you can use that anyway, as long as you've got permissions to use the web recorder. It doesn't matter where you are, so you could be absolutely anywhere, and you can just go to create, web recorder, record content directly into the platform. It's really straightforward. Now we can actually use that tool, or some of those tools, in fact both of the tools that I showed you, within the learning platforms, which I will show you when we look at how they integrate together. Okay, so that's two methods that we can use to get content into the platform. Obviously upload existing content or things that are in our camera roll, or from these things. But we can also use the web recorder, and that will record from live sources, including desktop, straight into the system, the platform. So one of the most popular ways that we find, particularly when we've got new users that are wanting to create video content or add video content to the platform, is the ability to record TV. So if I click, excuse me, on record TV, it'll draw an electronic program guide. It looks exactly like that. And we've got most of the free view channels listed on there. So we've got most of the free view. We omit the cute, the shopping channels, the plus ones and the specialist kind of ones. So you've got most of the free view channels, radio stations, quite a lot of foreign language channels as well on there. It's also got your regional channels, so you can get rid of the ones that are obviously not applicable. So, really simple. If you want to record something, if you want three-headed shark attack, if you click on that, it'll record it directly into the platform. So all these things, if I want to record the Yorkshire Dales and Lakes, click on it, select my category, yeah, dates history, or geography rather, confirm, create, it'll mark it in olive. When it's on, it'll record it and archive it into the platform. Now, one of the things that most people most people don't, you don't necessarily realise you want a program until you've already seen it. So what we do is we buffer quite a big chunk of the program. So all of the programs we record in a buffer here, which is usually, it depends on the channel. So most of the main channels are about 3 weeks. Things like the horror channel, it's probably about a week. Incidentally, we will add channels if people ask for them, and we have been asked for the horror channel, hence it's on there by a lot of the film studies courses and things like that. So yes, so if you want to record retrospectively, we've got this buffer. So you can go back. Anything that's in light green, you can still record even though it's already aired. So if you think you've missed 3-headed shark attack, you can go back in time, click on it, and add it to your platform, even though it's already aired. I won't bother if it happens. Okay, so any number going forward, any number going back, you can record. One of the things that, or one of the benefits of that, is that we've had our education customers recording television for quite a long time on the system. And what we decided to do was basically not delete any of that content, because it's almost like it's curated content, because they're all education users that have been recording the stuff. So there's potential value in that stuff. So we kept it, and we opened it as an archive so that all of the education users can benefit from that content. Bear in mind, it's only TV. We don't obviously share their private recordings. To access that, you simply go back to create, you go to the archive, yeah, and it goes into this thing, it's called Connect. This shows me shows us the most popular things this week. Yeah. So if I want something in particular, I can search for a recording. So if I'm interested in recording Panorama, I'm going to search for it. And it will come back with a load of episodes of Panorama. If it's relevant, I can hit the plus, and it'll add it directly to my platform, or your platform rather. So you've got a huge archive there, because obviously the people have been recording things from all the channels for a long time. Now, when we first launched this archive, people really liked it, but what we wanted to do was make it more useful. So I went and had a meeting with the BBC a few years ago, quite a few now actually. And obviously they've got a huge archive. And I asked them if we could have access to it, which they agreed to. So when you do a search now, it aggregates a search across everything that our customers have ever recorded from TV, but also across the BBC digital media library. So if you look on the right, it tells you where it's come from. Actually, these are all from the BBC digital archive. If I keep going down a bit, I'm sure at some point will probably be a Connect one. So that takes you up to about 2.2 million programs, and it's really easy to search. Just out of interest, does that make sense to everybody so far? Does it seem fairly straightforward?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool, right. So anything. So does anybody want me to search for anything, incidentally? Because it seems a bit like I'm cheating if I do it. Let's have a think. I always pick the same things, you say, so I do always feel like I'm cheating. But anyway, what I'll do is let me just put engineering. Okay, so that's searching across all the archives. So it's found quite a few things. There you go, Nina and the Neurons, Engineering Giants, that was on Quest, Yesterday, Impossible Engineering, Extreme Engineering, Mega, etc., etc. So there's tons and tons and tons of things on there that are potentially useful. Now, that's great, but it's a brilliant example of me not being able to think of anything to something else that we added to it. Some of the feedback we got from the customers was that, yes, it's good, but 2.2 million programs, we're actually finding a lot of the teaching staff can't remember the names of the program that are relevant to the subject that they're teaching, because they know that they saw something on a channel at some point, but they can't necessarily remember the name of the program. So what we did over a period of time was we digitized every single subtitle, and we used optical character recognition to turn them back into text, and then we indexed them back into the database. So that's quite a few words, but what you can do is search for something in particular. So for example, say I'm an engineering lecturer, and I put in there, if I do it in speech marks, it'll do a phrase search rather than individual words. If I put in there TIG welding, yeah. If I go to subtitles now and hit the search, it'll search for any time TIG welding as a phrase has been mentioned. So there you go, how it's made dream cars. Which ones are custom made from for the evolution using precision TIG welding? Yeah, so it will search through the spoken word from everything in the archive, which is no mean feat. There's about 4.5 billion words in that archive. And then you can hit the plus, and it will add it directly to your platform. Now that one's already been added to mine, so it doesn't lose that subtitle information. If I just go back to eStream, there's an option here for under tools to do a subtitle search. So if I put in there, as long as I've got permissions to see it, but TIG welding, and do a search, there it's found every time TIG welding has been mentioned.
First, the welder clamps the nose cone together to position it for welding. Then he begins to...
Yeah, and it'll find the content, and then we can go for it. So there goes a bit of TIG Titan. That is actually. Sometimes you'll find that actually it's quite interesting. You see, it's found TIG there. It actually is Titan, but whoever's been typing the subtitles at the BBC has put it as two different words. But that gives you an idea. And if it's relevant, that you can then hit the create chapter button, and it'll create a marker and create a chapter out of it. Does that make sense? Does anyone have any questions about getting those types of content into the platform? Does that make sense? Okay, so what we can also do that's probably useful is we can do quite a lot of things once they're in the platform. So once you've added them, whether it's you that's uploaded the content or whether it's content that you've added from Connect or you've recorded from TV, etc., it could be a lecture recording or capture. You can do quite a lot with it. So if I pick a particular recording, so if I just search for something, yeah, so if I pick, I'll pick that one. Yeah, obviously this is the play window, so I can play that content back, pretty straightforward. I've got different options here. If I want to share that with somebody, I can go to share, and I can then share that as a web link, or I can share it as an embed code. So if I share it as an embed code, I can simply copy that and then embed it into another resource. Yeah, we are whitelisted with Microsoft, so you can pop it in OneNote and Sway. Or I can send a link. That said, however, it's highly unlikely that you're going to want to embed the whole program. You know, that's an hour program. Well, it's not, it's 37 minutes, 22 seconds, but you're not necessarily going to want to embed that whole thing into your recording. So what you might want to do is let's find a bit about welding, because I can do a subtitle search just on this item. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to preview that. We'll get to the right place. Okay, so at this point, this might be an interesting scene. Yeah, I could have just found it manually by moving this thing around. Yeah. So if I'm interested in that particular scene within the recording. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to create chapter, hit the plus, hit the stopwatch. It'll use that as a thumbnail. I'm going to give it a name. That's obviously it's a metal roller. Yeah, and go to the end of the scene. Yeah, and submit it. And it'll save that as a marker within the video. Yeah. Now that chapter behaves as its own unique clip. So if I go to the right hand side of that, can you see the little share tool there? If I click on that share tool, icon rather, it will give me the URL, so I can just send that link to somebody, or I can send the embed code, paste that embed code into another website. If that makes sense. What you can do, dependent if you've got permission. So one of the things that's interesting is you might have a clip, yeah, and so, let's say you've uploaded a clip to it and you want to share that with somebody outside your domain. You know, they've not got a login to the Grimsby network and they're not a user. You might want to send it for external marking or something like that, or as an example, and you've got permissions to use it. Yeah, what you can do is if you've got permissions, by the way. And actually, before I go any further, if you have any problems with anything and you can't do anything that I'm doing, yeah, let us know. I'm sure Elaine would help anyway, but let us know because we can always help you. We're just down to the permissions that you've been given. Anyway, so at the moment, I'd have to have permissions to see that, as in I'd have to be a Grimsby user to see that content. But because I've got permissions to do this, I'm going to go to 1 day bypass authentication. Yeah, I just think you might find it useful because you can't do this with things like Teams, etc., with the clips from Stream, etc. So if I click on that now, copy that. Yeah, if I go to the chat box, I don't know if you can see the chat box. If I paste that into there now, you guys should see a load of rubbish in there, but just click on it and it should play back. If you want to have a go, you don't have to if you don't want to, but if you do and it plays back okay, just let me know. But it's simple because the user doesn't have to do anything except for click on it, and they're going to see exactly that scene on the metal roll or whatever it was that we were interested in, rather than have to, you know, having to edit or do something with the whole recording. Yeah. So they're really easy chapters. One of the most powerful things, move to a spot, hit create. And put a marker in. Really straightforward. Yeah. Does that make sense? Okay. So we can also obviously we've got subtitles, so we can put captions on and off. You can also add subtitles to your own recording. Okay, so what we can also do with the videos. That's great, Jason, thanks. Yeah, so it will expire, by the way, in a day, so if it stops working, there's nothing wrong with it. I put 1 day expiry on it. Okay, so yeah, so basically we can do that. So we can create private content and then only choose to share it with whoever we wish, or we can put timed anonymous access on it and things like that really easily. But what we can also do is, if I wanted to, I may well want to actually, edit that recording, because if you've done a classroom capture or a lesson capture or lecture, you're going to have some dross at the beginning of the lecture and some at the end potentially while you're turning it off. And you might have some in the middle you want to chop out that you don't want to submit. So it's really straightforward. You can go into this thing here, the video editor or the edit video tool. So all you do is you open your video, go to edit video, it opens the editor. Here's our program. Yeah, we can load multiple sources into it. So I could say, let's have you guys in there as well. Yeah. So we'll have how it's made in there. You see, this is stuff that we don't want at the beginning of that. So what we don't want is any of that. So we'll have it from there. So we just hit mark in, and the end of the program is there, mark out. Yeah, pop it on the timeline. But I might, at that point, there, I might want to put you guys and me in there. So I might want to do an insert edit or an overwrite. So I can basically say, right, I want that clip from there, mark in to there, mark out, and then I can put overwrite or insert, and it'll insert it at that particular point. And then it'll put back, etc., etc. So we've got editing tools in there, and we can put titles in if we wish. Yeah, we can also, one of the things that's actually really nice, particularly if you're recording training material. So you could be recording some screen captures of, I don't know, Excel or something, yeah. You can drop them into here, and then you can go over here to add voiceover, hit start, and it'll give me a countdown. I can now, just turn that track down. I can now narrate over the top of that, and I can talk about those pulleys, yeah, and I can narrate over the top of my Excel demonstration or whatever it is that we've been doing, and it's recording my voiceover. So if I press stop and play that back, you should hear me. I can now narrate over the top of it. Yeah, so we can basically, add these narrations live and then hit submit and it'll save it as a new edit. So it's a lot quicker than downloading it and trying to put it into something else and shoehorning it around and then re-uploading it. Okay. So let me go back to that recording. So one of the things that we can also do with the videos, and one thing that I think has been very popular recently is that, people expect to see videos, they're used to YouTube so much, etc. So what we decided to do was add some kind of, some layers of interactivity to the video so that you could add other material that's relevant. And to do that, it's really straightforward. All you have to do is open the video you want to add questions or interactivity to. Go to the right of the video, click select quiz. Yeah, and then because this is a new quiz, I'm going to go to open quiz editor at the top. Yeah, and then I'm going to click create a new quiz, bottom left, new timeline, give it a name. Okay, so there you go, these things light up now. So I move my timeline across to where I want to ask a question. Yeah. Okay, so what we'll do is we can add, so if I want to add a question at this point, yeah, so we can add multiple choice questions at that point. We can add true or false, free text, fill in the blanks, hotspots, links, which I'll show you in a bit more detail because that's quite useful. Drawing tools, annotation, so if I click on that. Okay. Sorry, fell early. But anyway, I'll have to do that one. Confirm. Move it along. Yeah. And then I can add another question. Let's add a... Let's add the question there. So what I'm going to do actually, what we'll do this time is we'll put a hotspot, which is a bit like spot the ball. So I'm going to put a large target on that, put it there. Where is the, I think it's a pommel. Again, something I don't know how to spell, but anyway, I'm guessing it's double L, I'm not sure. They'll have to do confirm. Yeah, okay, move it along a bit. Now, what you can also do, crikey, I keep boring the video. What you can also do is add links. So I could add a link to, say, another website, but it could be to another video potentially, or it could be to another learning resource. So we can also add documents. So if I open a folder and I just go to my documents, and if I pick that one, for example, I drag and drop that onto the video at that point, what it'll do is it'll embed that video into the, embed that PowerPoint into the video at that particular point, that asset. That's sat there. So what that does is that gives that document obviously context because it's going to appear in the video where it's relevant to the video. So if you're in a classroom recording and you've used loads of assets, What you can do is you can just drag and drop those assets to the correct points in the video that they relate to. And then you've got one embeddable object that's wrapped all these learning resources around in that one thing that you can embed into multiple locations anywhere you wish. Because ordinarily what people generally do, and you know, obviously tell me if I'm wrong, but most people will embed a video into the VLE, the learning platform, and then what they'll do is they'll get all the rest of the assets and they'll embed those in as well. So what's nice about this is it's just one embeddable entity and you can put it into multiple locations. Okay. So let's move that along a bit. Let's pick another, that's an advert, I think. So, I've just had a quick question there. Did you like the quiz? Okay, so there we go. If I save that and I do a little preview, click the eye, it'll preview our quiz that we've just made. There it is, Milburn Engineering quiz. It won't, mute that a sec, it won't let you jump past the questions until they've been answered. Okay, so we get to name the device, furnace, next one, yeah. So where's the pommel? There. Now when we get to the document, there it is, and it's sat on top of the video at that particular point. So if I click that, it'll pause the video, and in this case it'll open the PowerPoint. Obviously we've got the last one. Do you like the quiz? Oh, I would have thought so. Okay, so we've got, you know, quite a few different things that we can do with the videos in terms of interactivity. Now, one thing that's probably worth mentioning, nobody can see that at the moment because I haven't published it, because I might not have finished it for a start. So I've saved it and I can preview it, but nobody else can see it. So to make it visible, you need to click publish on the right hand side. That's now published. Okay. So that's how you do the quizzes, or that's how you create the quizzes. Does anybody have any questions about that? Does it seem fairly straightforward or not?
All good so far.
Good.
Yeah, it's all right.
Good. Yeah, well, if anybody needs any help ongoing, just let me know and I can always jump on a web session. It's not a problem at any time. Okay, right. So, so hopefully we can get content into the platform really easily, and we can add interactivity and things like that to the videos and share them. Now, if you use other tools such as Canvas and Teams, etc., we do have integration with those. So I'll start with showing you the integration with Canvas, because a lot of users that use eStream actually don't ever use it within eStream. A lot of them just use it within the learning platforms. So if I jump into Canvas, just out of interest, are you guys using Canvas, or do you use Teams, or is it a mix? Do you use a mixture of both?
A mixture of both.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, so if I go into this course, it's pretty similar as the plugin actually between in both platforms. It's not a lot different. So if I go to, just for this one, I'll just go to discussions. Yeah, I'll add a discussion. So this is obviously going to be familiar to you. You've got obviously the text editor here. But you've also got the option of adding media and YouTube, etc., etc. in here. But you've also got a green E. which is obviously eStream. So if you click on the green E, yeah, you get the plugin. So I can search for any of the content that I've added to the platform. So I recorded a screen capture recently, if you remember, of us. So if I click on that, add it to Canvas, yeah. There it is. Yeah, so that's the thing that we recorded earlier. Just go back to edit. So we can obviously search for the stuff. Now, I did mention obviously before that you can add the chapters and things, which of course we can. So if you've got a program on there, like the How It's Made thing, and if you would put chapters, we've got the metal roller there, I could add that to Canvas and it will just add that particular scene to Canvas. We can obviously also add the quiz. So on this recording here, the How It's Made recording, we also add a quiz. Now, if I just click it there, it will just add the program. If you look on the right, next to the Q, there's a number 1. That indicates there's a quiz attached to it. If you click on that and click like that and save it, yeah, it'll add the quiz to the Canvas course. It's worth mentioning about these is that it also, certainly with Canvas, it does update the grading tool with the answers that the students have given. Well, we can also, now I mentioned that, you know, a lot of people just use eStream within the VLE. So other things that you can do within the plugin, you can record TV straight into it. So if I go to EPG, which stands for Electronic Program Guide, I can just record television straight into the platform. I can also access the archive. So if I want to search for a clip, I can search for a clip within the archive, and that doesn't matter where that resides. It could be at the BBC or wherever. And I can hit the plus. Yeah, and it'll put a placeholder that says coming soon. And the reason it does that is obviously that file doesn't exist yet because it's not been copied potentially from the BBC archive in this case to your server. So what it does is it just puts a placeholder into Canvas. But once it's been converted and it's been sent off, which you don't have to worry about, it'll automatically replace that placeholder with the video. Okay. Now, interestingly, what you can also do within the plugin in Canvas is if I go to the web recorder, it will let me use this web recorder to record my screen events and potentially cameras. Could do picture in picture and pick a different thing. I could do another one I'm not going to do. And press record. It's now recording in this case, my second screen directly into Canvas. So when I press stop, it'll still ask me for the metadata. But I can hit upload. Yeah, and again, surprise, it puts another coming soon placeholder because it has to just convert that file to make it compatible across all devices. But it does all that automatically, and it'll automatically replace the placeholder with the video. I'll just click on the E again. Yeah, we've also got access to the photo library within the plugin. So if I want to add, say that clip from eStream, it puts a nice gallery mode in there. When I save it, we've obviously got the coming soon placeholders, and we've got the chapter that I embedded. Yeah, we've got a nice like a slideshow of images as well that I've added. And you can use that with the assignment tool as well. So if you do create assignments for the students, as long as when you create the assignment, you give them access to the text editor, the students will be able to record directly into Canvas using the plugin. And as I say, with all this stuff, if anybody wants, some help for a particular project or anything that you'd like to do, just let us know and we'll help you. It's not a problem. Any questions about the Canvas plugin, or does that seem okay?
Seems okay.
Good. Right, Teams. So I'm going to have to open this in the web Teams, but because I'm using Teams, obviously with you guys. So the plugin is actually very similar within Teams, but I think you'll like it. And the reason I think you'll like it is because when you add videos to the chat panels, they stay within the team or the chat box. So I've got a chat here, called Teams Demo. It doesn't really matter what it's called, I suppose. But one of the things that's probably worth mentioning is it does need to be installed. So I'm going to have a chat with Deborah and Elaine, just make sure that the plugin's been installed in your team. But on the bar at the bottom, you'll get an E. And when you click on it, bear with me, web one, it only does that once. It'll let you obviously use the plugin. So what this will do is let us do things like obviously search for content, add quizzes, etc. So if I put something in there, that's the thing we just recorded, but if I put in there, it doesn't really matter what it is, but I'll put that in. Yeah, add to Teams. Yeah, post it. Yeah, there it is. So if I hit view, I don't have to leave the team. It'll show it in a modal within that chat box or that chat page. And it works the same for anything. So if I click on the E again, I can upload exactly like I did with Canvas. I can go to the archive and I can add content. So if I want Michelle Rue's service or Rear Window, Hitchcock, I think is it, import into eStream. Yeah, what it'll do is it's put a placeholder in there, and it will automatically replace that when that program's been recorded. Yeah. So I can upload, I can record using the program guide. I can also go to the photo library and I can then pick, an asset from the photo library. Let's pick some that I've not taken, which are actually probably better, like that one. Yeah. When you get these quite nice slideshows, etc. And it just makes Teams look a bit nicer, I think, being able to do, and also being able to do it within the chat area. And the quality is really good as well, actually. So it does work really, really nicely. Does that integration with Teams? And I can basically show filters as well. So I can say, right, let's just see all the ones that have got quizzes attached to them. So we've got Michael Rue's service. Let's add that one. Let's add the quiz. And it goes. Easy. When I click on it, it opens it. But this time, because I picked the one with the quiz on, it opens it with the quizzes. So I've got the quizzing tool embedded directly into my chat in that particular team. Yeah, so name the chef, etc., etc. So it's really easy. Does that seem fairly straightforward? Yeah. So it does. It works really nice, and I think it's quite nice. It works well in Teams. Well, it works well in Canvas, but it's nice in Teams as well. I think it makes the chat boxes a bit more interesting. Okay, so I think what I would say is I usually leave the last 10 minutes for questions, but just before I do, one thing that I'd like to mention is, I don't know if any of you have seen this, but if you go to the Planet eStream website, which is planeteStream.co.uk, there's at the top, there's a thing called the Academy. And what the Academy does yeah, is it gives you access to all our training videos, so online training courses. So it's got basically videos and quizzes as well, that you can basically go into that and say, right, I'd like to know a little bit more about the photo module, and then all the things on the right. So I've got downloads for PDFs and things, let's say navigation, new features, map searches, blah blah blah. So we've got loads and loads of options in there that you can have a look at videos that relate to all the different aspects of the platform. If I just go back to the Academy, yeah, we've also got free training webinars. We run them every month, and all you have to do is view the schedule, pick the ones that you want. So if I want one on the 8th of October for an explanation on remote learning and stuff, just fill in your details and it'll send you an email and an invite. But what I wanted to mention was we have the certification, and what this does is it has a lot of training resources and material on there that we cover, and eStream certified educator, administrator, and digital signage expert. So what you can do is you can do the quizzes, answer the questions. You obviously have to register, so you obviously need to attribute it to yourself. And then you get the you'll get the badge, and you can put them on your email signature and things like that if you wish. And you qualify to get whichever badge you pass. So I think people like Elaine. I think she's done all of them, Elaine, actually. But you can get these things. And I think we're up to. I think in lockdown we've had an additional 200 odd people that have become educators or admins or the signage one, actually, to be fair. So they're there if you want to do that. But as I say, anything that you need any help with, please, just contact me, and I'm more than happy to help you. I'd like to get this Teams integration sorted so that you've got that. I'll speak to I'll send Elaine and Deborah an email just so that we can get this integration set up. So that'll be fine. Okay. So as I say, last 10 minutes we usually leave for questions. Now I've not shown you every single feature on eStream. Obviously it does digital signage. I haven't shown you the photo module. I haven't shown you the live stuff. Does anybody have any questions or anything they'd like to see that I've not shown, or have you got anything that you would like to do that I've not covered? Is there anything at all and I can help you with?
So we have no questions from anyone. Okay. Thank you for your time, Andrew. That was very informative. I know I'm going to have to go back and digest some of that information because there's a lot to take in there, but it was really useful. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. As I say, just pick the thing. It does a lot more. I didn't want to really go through too much more because obviously it's a lot to go through. But if you can think of anything you'd like to do, as I say, let me know. I'm always happy to help.
Sure. Thank you very much. Well, if nobody has any other questions, I think that concludes this session.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.